Hello and welcome. So in this video, we will be continuing the project that we were working on, which is front-end to back-end integration with WhatsApp WebJS. So if you are directly watching this video, please know that there is a playlist on my YouTube channel. So we can go ahead and see the whole playlist and then, come over here. So this is a part of the playlist where I will be integrating WhatsApp WebJS with React.js and Node.js, React.js as frontend and Node.js as backend. Okay, so let's resume. So I have my VS Code open. I am gonna open my directory, which is documents, YouTube projects, WhatsApp WebJS. So if you remember from the previous video, we have like two files, and I also have the session client ID 1, client ID 2. If you remember, client ID was the one that was already authenticated. Okay, so now let me just also spin up the front end server. So let me go to cd client and let me go to cd WhatsApp web.js and write npm start, which is going to start the server of React.js. And also let me get back over here and let's go to cd server, and I am going to do node server.js, but I am not going to start the server yet. So if you see, it's just a basic create React app. So we can open up app.js. Okay, and I can remove the existing code over that's over here, remove this code as well. You don't really need it, and that's just a blank page. Okay, so I'm not gonna focus more on the UI part, which I think you guys can already implement. So I'm just gonna write WhatsApp web.js client. Okay, also few packages that we'll be using, which is QR code, npm package, React. So there are different packages that we can use, of course, but the package that I think we will be using, which is React hyphen QR code, or maybe React hyphen QR code. So yeah, so we can use this. Yeah, cool. So now the way that I'm going to implement this is very simple, which is that I am going to go over here, go to the front end server. Actually, just go over here, cd client, cd, yeah, cd WhatsApp JS client, and npmi React. Let's see the name of the package. It's React QR code. Actually, we can look at other stuff as well. React QR code. Let me just go to npm and search the best one. It has very less downloads. React QR code. Mm, okay. So seems like this should be fine, but I am a little skeptic about this. Mm, oh, I think it should be fine. So let me just copy this and let me just paste it over here. Dash dash save, which will just save it. I don't think it's needed, but I am still gonna write that. It's just a habit now. So it's just quickly gonna add the package. So now I am gonna use client ID and I am gonna start spin up the node server. So I'm gonna write node index.js. I can also use nodemon, but yeah, so it will just open up the server. And the thing that I am about to do now is that once we have the QR code, we will send the QR code to the front end, and we will just let me just quickly import QR code. Okay, and I am gonna write h1 QR code, and all I need to do is just integrate QR code, value. All I need to do is just take this thing and paste it over here, and let's see the front end. So there you go. This is how the QR code would look like. And so I'm gonna write open WhatsApp and scan QR code. WhatsApp and scan QR code. Okay, cool. Here you go. Looks fine according to me. So now if I just open up my WhatsApp and scan this, it should allow me to scan. But the thing is, the old QR code, so I don't know if you guys know, for every 20 to 30 seconds, it's a arbitrary value set by WhatsApp, the QR code changes. So as soon as the QR code is changed, so the listener that we are having over here, which is client.onListener, will send the QR code and we will receive this. And our idea is to send it to the front end, and we will just, that's how it would work. Okay, so now the question is, how do we implement this? So there are many ways of doing it, which the one way that I would recommend is to use Socket.io. Socket.io client. Okay, so you can just go over here, which is, this is like Socket.io. I'm assuming you guys already know about this. So you can, like, on front end, it's like Socket.io hyphen client. So let me just do that on front end. npm I Socket.io client, and I'm gonna stop the backend server. I'm gonna write npm I. So for backend, it's more like the socket.io as far as I know, but we will confirm that in a second. Okay. Let me check the documentation. Yeah. Well, I have a application over here, which is an application, example application from Socket.io itself. So we basically need to do the existing stuff that it's written over here. So let me just copy this exact thing, and I'm gonna remove the extra stuff that is already there. And all I need to do is like server.listen. Instead, yeah, server.listen 3000. Server is listening on 3000. Alright, cool. So this should work, and also with this we will also install npm I socket io. Okay, so we just follow the documentation. This is npm install socket io. This is on backend. So we are ready with front end and backend, both of these things. So what we can do is that, so as soon as the client is connected, what we can do is that we can just basically do this io.connection. So one way of using io is to just implementing it from, yeah. So this is how you are going to do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy paste the stuff that is required to set up the socket io server. And yeah, so whenever there's a connection, we'll tell that a user is connected. We can also do socket.id or whatever. Yeah, we can do that, I reckon. Okay, I don't think it's needed, but then yeah, we'll still do it. Okay, so this is the backend setup that was needed. And let's head back to the front end and then just set up everything. So what I'm gonna do is that in order to save the time, I am just gonna quickly write the code that is related to socket IO and set everything up, and I'll be right back. So yeah, guys, I have set up everything that was required to set up. So if you see right now, if I reload, if I open my network tab, and if I go to WS, which is web stands for WebSocket, and if I go to the 101 request, I can see that there's hello. And so basically I am sending hello to the server, and hello. Yeah, this is basically, yeah, we are receiving like, hello from server. Yeah. So once that's connected, also we can emit from our side as well, which is, I've emitted that, hello from, like, I've sent, connected hello from client, and I've received hello from server. So the left one with the name of the event, and the right one would be the thing that you want to send. Okay, cool. So now, similarly, what we'll do is that we will basically add a button on front end, which would basically start button create session. Okay, so I'm gonna create session for WhatsApp. Okay, and also I'm gonna give a input, and I will create this input over here, like, session, set session, use state, which is this. I'm gonna import use state, and we will be using the use state over here, which is value session, and I'm gonna write on change set session e dot target dot value, which would basically set the session. Cool. So this is sorted, and now let's go back to the front end. If you see some ugly code, which I apologize for. I'm gonna wrap this thing into a div and put it over here, so that both of these guys will be the top. And also I'm gonna add some style. I'm not gonna focus on styling a lot, but let's do some minimal styling, which is required. And margin bottom would be 40 pixels. There you go. So as soon as I create the session, I would have a, is loading. I don't care about loading, to be honest. Let's just directly write set QR code and use state set QR code. So on the use effect, we will be listening to the socket.on QR. Okay, let me just console log the QR, and I can do that as well, but let me just console log QR and check. Okay, so you can put this, actually you can put the use effect in the end. So here we would basically do socket.emit create session, and the ID would be session. Okay, so our idea is to just create a session, and we would just add the on click over here. Cool. So now we should ideally receive the session on the backend. So I'm gonna write, socket.on create session, and I am just gonna console log the data. Okay, I hope that this is clear. So this will restart the server. Okay, so now I am gonna come over here, reload the page, click on 101, and also see that connected to the server. And as soon as I click on this, write something, click on this, you can see a message is sent to the backend, and I can see that this is console logged over here. So I'm gonna destructure ID from data. Okay, and then I am just gonna create the session, which would basically, so I'm gonna spawn this create WhatsApp session, and it will have everything that is needed. Okay, it's gonna take the ID and it's gonna take the socket so that we can send it back to the, yeah. So now instead of this, we will just add client ID is equal to the ID that we are going to write in the front end. And yeah, so and after that, once it's ready, we would just all sessions dot object dot ID is equal to client. So we are using an object, so maybe I can just create the on object on the top so that we can reuse it. Yeah, and then yeah, so we can revive the session again and again by using this ID. All right, cool. And also let me write authenticated client dot on authenticated, which basically means that it's authenticated. I mean, there won't be anything over here, but yeah, there you go. Client is authenticated. Maybe that as well. Okay, so now as soon as this happens, I'm gonna call this, I'm gonna pass in ID and this, and also as soon as I receive the QR code, I'm gonna write socket dot emit, which is coming from here, QR, and I'm gonna pass in QR this way. Okay, and also I'm gonna do like socket dot emit ready, client is ready, and I can pass in a message. ID as well. Okay, cool. So now let me reload. Actually, let me save the server as well. Okay, there seems to be something wrong. Oh, we should put the client.initialize inside the function, not outside the function. Okay, let me just copy only this code. I think this will be fine now. Okay. Well, there is something wrong, I believe. Oh no. We will need this and we will need this. Still there's something wrong. Okay, no. The server just restarted. Okay. So now if you see, yeah, io.connection. We should basically, yeah, there you go. We are receiving the response. Now I'm gonna write something over here, something new, create session. As soon as I create the session, this is getting spawned and I am receiving the QR code. Let's receive the QR code and set the QR code, and let's see how the front end looks like. QR code, which is the state, and I am gonna set QR code. I'm gonna write data const QR data, and I'm gonna set the QR code. Okay, so I am gonna write the same thing again. Oops, I'm sorry. Something one. Let me see what is in the server. So if you go to server, I got something new. Let's write something new. There you go. It's really quick and really fast. And wow, it's just not working. Let me restart the server. Nodemon index.js. The reason that it was not working was because we already have a browser, which is something that we also have to check now. Okay, cool. So now I am gonna write something new. So there you go. As soon as I see a QR code over here, which is taking a lot of time for some reason, there you go. We received the QR code, and as soon as it's updated, we will see this QR code. Okay, so that's about the authentication part. And yeah, so now what we can do is that we can socket.emit get, okay, I can create a button over here to, like, yeah, so basically I'll also add a listener called socket.on ready, which will only be executed when it's ready. Okay, if you remember, I have scanned my WhatsApp from the previous video. Let's see what happens if I just do this. Okay, let's see what was that. It was your client ID, your underscore client underscore ID, if I correctly remember. And I will also, okay, I will also stop the server. Okay, cool. I'm gonna reload the page, and I don't remember your underscore client underscore ID, your underscore client underscore ID. Let's see how will it revive the session, or will it just not revive the session. Okay, according to me it should revive. So if you see, it's in loading state, and I'm gonna hide because these are all of my chats, but it's just loading. It will take some time, of course, but it will be very quick. Okay, it will not take this much of time. I guess I'm doing this after like a while, so that is reason it's taking a lot of time to turn on the server. So once this is done, we will wait for it to finish, which is taking insane amount of time. And et voila, and there you go. We have received the ready. So what I'm gonna do is that as soon as I receive ready, I'm gonna create ID, session ID, set ID, which will be the authenticated ID, and this will be empty for now. And so I'm gonna create one more button and add margin bottom as 24 pixels again, and I guess this is margin bottom. Okay, I'm gonna do this where I am gonna conditionally render if ID equal to null is not equal to null empty, then I will do something. So I will basically uh, create a button which says get all chats. Okay, so I am gonna create set ID over here, like I'm gonna get the ID data and I am gonna write set id, and it will show me that. And after that, I am gonna create a function to get all chats. Okay, so now I am just gonna take this id over here. So socket dot emit get all chats, and I'm gonna emit the id. Okay, so it should basically get me all of the chats. Not set id, get all the chats. Okay, and I will have a listener called socket.on all chats data, and I'm just gonna console log this over here, and we will finish off this tutorial by looking at different stuffs in web WhatsApp web.js. Okay, so let me stop the node server, and I'm gonna do node mon index.js. Okay, cool. So now I will just reload, and if you can see, it just got connected, and I am gonna do let me see what was the name, your underscore client underscore id. And once I create session, it will basically spawn the same session. Now it will be relatively fast because it basically got all of the chats. Okay, so yeah, there you go. It's ready, and if you see, there is a button called get all chats. So we will basically be writing the code for that. So now we are emitting get all chats. So let's go to index.js. So we will basically receive socket.on get all chats, the data. So we will basically be using um, you know client in this way, the code that it gave. So we will destructure the data, and we will basically get all the chats, and then so we will do it in this way. So const all chats await client dot get all chats, and we'll go to the WhatsApp web.js documentation, and we'll go to client, and we can see that there's a function called get chats. So we will copy that, and we'll paste it over here, and we'll make this async so that we can await. And once we get the data, we will basically socket dot emit, and what was the on was all chats, and yeah, all chats. There you go. It should be sorted, and we can just reload the front end server. Okay, cool. So now let's start. Well, I forgot what was the, yeah, it was your client ID. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it over here, and I'm gonna create the session, which will spawn the same session ideally. Yeah, once it's ready, it should give me the data. Ready. Okay, now I'm gonna press get all chats. There you go. I get all of my personal chats, which is very dangerous, but yeah. So it just has all of the chats. Similarly, we will dig into all of the different stuffs. So if you see client has different things, like like accept group invite, we can create groups, we can we can get blocked contacts, we can get chat by IDs, we can get chats, we can get chat labels, we can get contacts, we can get country code, formatted number, all of these things. We can also write a code to just log out, and we can also do reset state. I guess all of these things will be over here. And also we'll be having like different events, like when there's like an incoming call, this could, so ideally, so we have like more events like client dot on, group join, this group leave. So if you see this call, this group update, this loading screen, this media upload, this message revoke everyone, revoke me, or whatever, message, remote message saved. Yeah, so all of these things are over here. So we can use that to listen to the data, and you can do different stuff with that. Okay, so I'm not gonna dig into each and every function, which I don't think is required, but if you want me to create a video, please comment down below and let me know. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video. See you guys in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take care. One for the thumbnail.